All right, welcome back to the Carnivore Cast YouTube channel. My name is Scott Myslinski. I'm the host of the Carnivore Cast podcast, the podcast by carnivores for carnivores, all about a meat-based diet. And this is going to be what to eat on a carnivore diet, my top 5 foods, and how to shop for those foods on a carnivore diet. So in terms of top 5 foods, number 1, right off the bat, is going to be steak. Fatty if possible, and when you're shopping for steaks, it can get expensive. I realize that. Not everyone can afford to eat ribeye 3 times a day, 5 pounds of ribeye. So look for buying in bulk, look for deals, use apps like My Grocery Deals, or subscribe to the newsletters from your local grocery stores. Often grocery stores will have local apps like Star Market or Kroger, where you can look at the meat specials and shop deals there, or you can use services like Instacart or others. Those often have deals. Costco is also a great place to get everyday low prices on meat, so you can get steaks there. And you can also buy in bulk. You can freeze steaks. I often cook all my steaks from frozen in the air fryer. I find that works really well because then they come out really crispy on the outside and still not overcooked on the inside because they're frozen, they're so cold. You can also buy roasts and make steaks out of those. You can buy a whole rib roast or a New York strip roast. So steak is really the foundation of the diet. It's what's most satisfying for most people. It's a great way to get fat and protein together, and it has a lot of the nutrients that are essential in meat. After that, the number 2 food is going to be ground beef or ground lamb. Again, this can be a lot more affordable. The problem with ground beef and ground lamb is a lot of the fat renders out in the form of the liquid or grease when you cook it, and you really don't want to be eating that fat straight up. It can cause a lot of digestive issues, either constipation or diarrhea, and especially when you're getting adapted to the diet. You don't really want to do that. And then if all the fat cooks out, you're left with some really lean meat. So that can be a problem, but you can just cook it a little bit less. Ground beef is still a huge foundation of my diet. I eat a lot of it. I eat it almost every single day. And lamb is great too. And often you can get it a lot cheaper, $3, $2 a pound. And you can buy that in bulk as well. So ground beef is going to be food number 2. Food number 3 on a carnivore diet for most people is going to be eggs. Eggs are cheap. They're a great source of nutrition. You're eating the whole animal when you eat an egg. They have vitamin D, vitamin K, choline, a lot of these essential nutrients that we need. And some people actually find they can't tolerate eggs well. I often find that's due to the egg white versus the egg yolk. But if you do tolerate eggs, buy a ton of eggs. Eggs are a great staple on a carnivore diet, very affordable. And when you're shopping for these, buy what you can afford, but eggs are an area where buying a higher quality goes a really, really long way. Beef, I find grass-finished, grass-fed doesn't make as big of a difference. I'll make a longer video on that. But eggs, it really, really does. The difference between a free-range or pasture-raised egg versus a conventional egg is massive. So really, if you want to pick your battles around budget and food quality, eggs are a place to double down and invest a little bit and get a lot higher quality. Number 4, food on a carnivore diet is pork or bacon. Now, I don't eat a ton of pork and bacon myself. I just find beef to be a lot more satisfying, but especially when you're starting out, bacon is an awesome way to really enjoy your meals. I wouldn't make a whole meal of bacon, at least not regularly. It's more of a side dish. You can have it with eggs, you can have it with your burger, you can have it with steak, or pork chops or something like that. But pork is also a great source of nutrition, and it can be affordable as well. Number 5 is going to be butter. Buy lots of butter. Buy butter for cooking. Buy butter for putting on your leaner meats. Butter is awesome to make sure you're getting in enough fat, especially when you're getting adapted to the diet. You don't want to skimp on fat because that's going to be our main energy source for a carnivore diet. So those would be the top 5 foods. Yeah, number 1 is steak. Number 2, ground beef and lamb. 3 is eggs. Pork and bacon are number 4, and then number 5 is butter. And then a bonus is cheese. I think cheese is great if you tolerate dairy. A lot of people have reactions to cheese, problems with cheese, not just lactose intolerance, but they find things like acne can come up if you have a lot of cheese, or indigestion, or makes them uncontrollably hungry. They can't really control themselves around cheese. But especially when you're getting adapted to the diet and you're trying to make it tasty and you're trying to enjoy it and get used to these foods and beat cravings, I think cheese is a fantastic option for most people. So cheese is a bonus one. If you tolerate dairy, throw in some cheese. And then some other options that are totally awesome on a carnivore diet. I just didn't put them in the top 5 because I think these other foods are a little bit better, more satisfying, more nutritious, etc. But things like chicken and fish are great. Game meats like venison, buffalo, boar, elk, those are all great. They can be a lot leaner, so you might need to find other ways to put in more fat, but those are tasty and great if you have access to them. Bone broth is also awesome. This almost made the top 5, but yet just I wouldn't think of it as a food, but more of it as a supplement and a warm drink. If you're trying to kick a coffee habit at the same time as doing the carnivore diet, which I don't recommend, I think you should take it in steps. Trying to switch up too much at once can be harmful, but if you are in need of a warm drink, something to satisfy you, bone broth is awesome and a great way to get in sodium, which is super important, especially when getting adapted. You want to keep your salt really high, and salt could almost be in the top 5. I don't consider it food, I consider it a supplement, but salt is essential on a carnivore diet. So hope you guys found that helpful. This is my top 5 foods to eat on a carnivore diet and how to shop for them. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share this video with friends. I'm also on all social media. Follow Carnivore Cast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and going to have more and more content coming out for World Carnivore Month and beyond. Please let me know what you thought in the comments section. What are your top 5 foods? Is there anything I forgot to mention or left out? Share your tips for others, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it carnivore.